What's going on, Libra? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an amazing week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. You're keeping us growing. And for those of you who are new, I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You're in for an amazing journey. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of October 23rd through the 29th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed, the vibes are good, we're jamming. I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some possible future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to represent some perspectives you might be thinking about in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then finally, the bottom right will be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are super dope, so I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. But with that being said, higher self, what do we have in store for Libra this week? We get these cards pulled, and we'll jump right to it. Oops. Okay. Oof. Wow, I thought shuffling was hard. How's dealing hard? Oh, come on, guys. The cards are excited. We're moving all over the place. Okay. All right. Let me get these organized here, and then we'll jump into it. Okay. All right. Okay, I dig it, Libra. Yeah? All right. Let's do this thing. So, for the nature of your problem this week, pull the Princess of Disc. And then the cards that came along with it are the 7 of Wands and the Fortune card. So, Princess of Disc. So for some of you this week, I feel like we are getting ready to, well, let me start with, for this is going to resonate only with a small few of you. You might be expecting a little one on the way, which if so, congratulations. If you're not looking for that, watch out. Because the Princess of Disc is, she's a very fertile figure. She represents fecundity for me. You know, she's really about pouring all of that very nurturing, very, that fruitful energy, and she's feeding that through the scepter here. And I don't know if you can tell at the bottom, there's this light that's flashing at the end of it. And then the ground here is all lit up because she's about to turn this grove into a utopia. You know, that's her name of the game. And I feel like for some of you, you're looking for something that you can pour your energy into. You know, maybe you've been sitting on something for a while and you're ready to give it some life. Or maybe this is something that you've already have in the works, and maybe you're trying to breathe something fresh into it. But either way, I do feel like there's some, we're trying to channel that energy this week. That how can we channel all this abundance and love and stuff that we have in ourselves, and how do we pour that into what we're doing? And I'll tell you one way to do it. It's going to require some courage for sure, because this with the 7 of Wands here. This is one of my cards of courage. This is like you have this energy back here that's kind of got this. It's ready to go. We are all balanced. Everything is in its place. But there's just this one wand that's. Did I say swords? I definitely meant wands if I said swords. But you got this one wand in the middle of it. And I like to think that represents you, because this is like you got this. This middle one has all this big energy ready to pour it out, but it's getting in the way of all this other stuff here too. It's just like, what are you waiting for? Get out the way, Libra. It's all right there. The 7 of Wands too can also be, appreciating the small victories. So it's like, maybe you're trying to wait for that big win to happen, but we're not appreciating the little ones that are coming along the way. Because the thing with the journey with this with anything that you do. But I feel like especially for something as really as precious and as delicate as what the Princess of Wands, or excuse me, Princess of, I don't know who anyone is right now, but with this Princess of Disc, I really feel like this is, you gotta appreciate the little things on the way. This isn't gonna just like bloom overnight, unfortunately. But you know what? I shouldn't even say unfortunately, because you know what? Then there would be, you really can't appreciate the growth and really get that wisdom when things just kind of happen. But regardless, I really say this is calling upon you to have that courage. Just go for it. Because I feel like your heart's in the right place with this energy here. So once you get out of your way and let that energy kind of flow through, you're gonna get that fortune, baby. And who doesn't love themselves some good fortune? Because that's exactly what this card is about. This represents good fortune, great news, just all the abundance that you've been looking for. Here it is. The thing I will say with the fortune card is, don't sit on that. Just like I was saying, you gotta, if you're waiting for all the planets to align, for the stars, the asteroids, I don't like to think that opportunities get missed. You'll get the opportunities that were meant for you. But for the fortune card for me, it's just like you getting the winning lottery ticket and you just letting it sit there. You got it all framed, it's all pretty, but where's your fortune? I see it written on here. Where is it, Libra? And I do think that, this is one of those things, you got to go out and get it. You got to spin that wheel. This isn't going to just, abundance doesn't just, unfortunately, fall out of the sky, And if it does for you, we need to meet up. But, I won't stay too much longer in this because I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory there. But I do feel like in whatever you're getting ready to embark on, to go at it. Don't be afraid to try new things, for that, if it doesn't quite work out initially, if it feels good, the universe is going to make it work out, but you have to take that initiative first. And that's what I feel like is going on here, because last thing with this Princess of Disc here, she's standing on this altar, and this is the altar of Demeter, and Demeter is the goddess of the harvest. And I bring that up just to say that, when you get ready, the harvest doesn't, there's a season for that. We're not, eventually, end game is that we are harvesting all year round, that it is just fortune all year round, Lee, but I'm not going to take that away from you. But when we're, for us who are just getting started in this, it's appreciating that, there's going to be a time to reap those rewards. They're going to come in, it's going to start off kind of small. They're going to, kind of trickle in. But man, when that big one comes in, bet you're going to be ready, Libra. You're going to be there to catch that, and it's going to be great. So I won't stay in that too much longer. Let's go ahead and move to some future outcomes here. You know what? While I was talking about this is kind of nice. Let's start with the upper left. So, for some of you, on this future stuff here, I have the 9 of Cups here, that good old devil, and the 2 of Disc. So, I feel like with some of you, wherever you're channeling this Prince of Disc energy, this is going to bring you some form of happiness. I do feel like this is something that's, that's going to get you fulfilled. And if it's not, finding that thing that does give you that fulfillment, because it's one thing to just pour your heart into something, and maybe you're nervous too. Maybe this energy is not moving because, are you happy? Is this something that's going to bring you that fulfillment, that joy, that when you get out of bed every morning, you're like, yes, I'm about to get up at 9 of Cups. I'm about to go out and get this fortune. Hell yeah. Because if it's not, then maybe that might be what the problem is going on with the 7 of Disc or 7 of Wands. Why you might be a little nervous or apprehensive about going about this. Because why would I do something if it's not going to make me happy? And I kind of like that the devil popped up in here for that, because I feel like this is kind of really kind of confirms that, because the devil is a thing of, it's about like intoxication, overindulgence, usually like addiction. But I feel like with him popping up here, I feel like it is trying to find that what are you trying to say here in this situation, devil? I do feel like with the devil popping up here, for some of you, maybe we're getting too lost in this, trying to see you're getting so stuck in this big picture that it's becoming a problem that you are getting in your way here. Because the devil doesn't necessarily have to be an addiction to like a substance, or it could be an addiction to a behavior too. Maybe you're one that's like, it's like, well, things aren't perfect yet. You're really a perfectionist in the sense that it is borderline toxic behavior, that you let perfect be the enemy of good, if that makes sense. I feel like it's with the devil popping up in this situation, because this is a unique way to have the devil here. I do feel like it's finding that behavior, not getting addicted to that like, and I don't want to say it's toxic behavior, but just don't get addicted to getting in your own way. Sometimes it's okay to step out and just like watch this thing grow. We are in control of a lot of things, but we can't, it's hard to be in control of everything. I feel like being the scales and wanting to balance it all, you're trying to find that perfection all the time. And that could be your devil moment, finding that perfection again. So, trying to make sure, when the devil pops up, I just feel like it's just saying, it's not a hard card. It's not like a really mean card, because look at that. He's got a little smile on his face, got a little halo, a little flower halo here, a little flower crown. So the devil can be fun, but it's just like, it's the strongest, most playful reminder of just like, hey, there's something here that's getting you stuck, that's not that's hindering your growth, and it's that's, I feel like it's going to be lying in that Seven of Wands energy, and that's going to require you to get to some change, because the Two of Discs is just about that, being comfortable with that ebb and flow of life. It's not always going to be perfect. Hell, you should see some of my readings sometimes. They're far from perfect, but there's always, I've always find, and like the motto last week was finding little pockets of sunshine, and that's what I've been doing. Even if things don't quite go as well as they start off to be, just finding the pockets in the mess sometimes, because that's really where some of the brightest stuff is. And I feel like with this cup, or with this disc here, it's it's getting you to get out of this, wanting to be in this extreme, and to get more in this balanced state here. Because I'll tell you what, an unbalanced sign in general is not pleasant, but I feel like an unbalanced Libra, watch out. So let's get to this place where we can learn where we can Ouroboros. I'm just turning all these phrases into verbs, but we want to get to where we're okay with that ebb and flow, and who better to do it than Libra? But ultimately, I like to say with the end game for the Two of Discs is to get in this sweet spot right here, this right where both of these things are coexisting. Because I feel like once we get here, get right back to that happiness, and look how the devil helped you get there along the way, because I felt that was really random for how the devil popped up in this instance, but I do like that in a sense, because the devil, as harsh as he can be sometimes, he can be a little sneaky, a little tricky about how he'll bring out, what are these things that we can get addicted to, and we could addicted to perfection. That's a new one. I see you and I raise you. Think of the devil as your antithesis. It's always taking notes. It's like, okay, they're comfortable here, but if I can get them locked up in this long enough, let's see how you handle that one, huh? How you feeling about that, Libra? But in the best way possible. The devil along with the antithesis just wants you to level up, Libra. So let's keep that in mind when we're dealing with this Princess of Disc energy. Now, on the upper right, I like that. Thank you for that, devil. Every now and again, devil will surprise me. Now, for this right-hand side here, I pulled the Death card, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. So with this Death card, how appropriate that you get the Death card in Scorpio season. First day of Scorpio season, we're changing. And this is, in no big surprise, a lot of people are getting like Death cards, Hangmans, Towers. This is a real, but I say that it's beautiful, because this is a great time, great transformative, reflective, introspection, all those good meditative words all bundled up. That's what this season is all about. And you're transforming, you're transforming Libra. Excuse me, I'm picking up on the Virgo in your chart if you couldn't tell. Yeah, you like that. But anyway, back to getting my shit together. The death card is about that transformation, and this is a really, I feel like, what a better time to do it, taking that lessons that you're learning from this, learning that, look, what do we learn from here? Just already, what we could possibly be addicted to, and how can we grow from that to get to this 10 of Cups here? Because the 10 of Cups, look at all this abundance you have here, Libra. With the 10 of Cups, this is a card of being, your cups are just full. You are at, we've got it. And the things with the cups too, I like to say that they represent just like abundance. Usually I'll sometimes lump the disc and the cups in as abundance, but cups in particular have to deal with emotions, love, and I feel like this kind of is applying, or how these apply is like, what is going to fulfill you, in this thing, again, maybe we're stopping because we're not sure if this is going to provide happiness, if this is going to not get that fulfillment. So definitely, and I feel like that's a good way of going about it, instead of just like, oh, I need everything to be perfect. It's just like, no, I want to make sure that I'm getting the most from this, that I'm filling my cups, and that I can give back as well, and that there is that reciprocity, that there's that ebb and flow, that give and take. I feel like that is a fair way, and look at how we already changed. And look at that. You showed up for you. Well, one of your cards showed up for you. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is the liberator of the mind. This is that clarity. She's a very perceptive figure. I like her too. She's kind of like my no bullshit, check your energy at the door type of card. And that means for herself too. Because if your energy is not right here, that's not going to bode well for this Princess of Disc moment. We want to make sure that we're in a really happy place, that we're feeling that fulfillment, because this is very loving energy here. And we want to make sure to give the most to that. And I do feel like you're getting that clarity here with one of your cards showing up here. Absolutely. Because the Queen of Swords here too, you have to think about, if she's shouldering this, let's say she's trying to make this, she's sitting on a throne of clouds here. If she's trying to make these all these clouds perfect and all this stuff, and she gets wrapped up in this devil moment, that's going to weigh her down. She's going to fall her ass out of that clouds, and bet you she's not going to be happy about it. And we don't want that. We want the clarity that is coming from this queen here. And I do feel like that's with her showing up, that's coming. It's one of those things, once you see that for what it is going to, this whole experience here is going to be all worth it, because it's going to shine a light. You'll be able to see things from a new perspective. And what better, I feel like what better way to bring about some good fortune than than a new fresh perspective of things, going into this Queen of Disc energy. Because I really do feel a lot of loving, nurturing energy coming from this Libra. So hopefully that resonates with you. Let me go ahead and move on to this bottom left hand side here, because this is something. This is an interesting little group here as well. So where some perspectives, or where your head might be at, you got the 9 of Swords, the Prince of Cups, and the 5 of Disc. So 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is a tough one. The 9 of Swords is a card of cruelty, and I don't feel like this is necessarily that you've been cruel to someone, Libra. You don't take me as a cruel type. Usually when I think of cruelty, I feel like if I've ever, this is just me personally, if I've ever done something cruel, it's usually been something that I've said to myself. And with the swords, they're all about intellectual matter. So what are some cruel things that you're saying to yourself, and seeing, when this pops up, these, one of my mindfulness cards, being aware that what is happening to you when you're in this state. Because when you start with one cruel thought, or, this very malicious kind of energy, we're just not serving us a good purpose. I feel like this is like, you got one thing here, it'll draw a little bit from you. Oh, it's not fine, just like, oh well, oh that sucked, blah blah blah. But then once once the devil finds that sweet spot, that really can get you, then it's gonna invite all its friends, and then you got a whole sword party here, and everybody wants a drink, and look at that. Now we're hemorrhaging. It's everyone wants their bit, and whether you've been telling, my whole point with this is, if you've been in a mindset where you've not been kind to yourself, you've been overly focused on this perfection thing. You're just like, gosh, it's not perfect. God, you're not good enough. Why don't you do this? This could always be better. Blah 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 blah. I'm all for perfection. I get it. I'm a perfectionist too, but there are some instances where it is okay to not let perfect be. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. There's some, and this is just, it's not to say that you're settling or that you're giving less than. It's just like you're pouring so much into it that nothing good is coming out of this. You can go at it all day, trying to get that perfection, but look at how it's affecting your mental health. And if it's not going to give you, oh no, not you, you stop that, sneaky. If it's not going to get you fulfilled, we're not filling cups, then it's just weighing you down. You're about to fall off your clouds, Libra, and I don't want that. I'm trying to pull a a safety net for you. So, let's be careful with this. And you know what? I like that. I like that this whole setup here, because the Prince of Cups, he's the type that's going to he's not gonna talk about let me tell you what he's about first before I get into it. The Prince of Cups, for me, he's a type that on the outside, he's really cool, calm, collected. He's coming presenting like, yeah, no, everything's fine. But then you look back here and you have all these vapor clouds kind of stewing behind him. And I feel like that's all the shit that he keeps bottled up inside. And that you can only keep that face for so long. Eventually, that's gonna blow up, and it's just gonna add just more stuff. Because look at what else we're throwing on here. We're throwing 5 of disc on top of that. You want to worry too, and the 5 of disc is about specifically, it can be about monetary anxiety. The disc can deal with business matters, monetary affairs, things like that. But I get like, we're worried. We have monetary anxiety. Thinking maybe we're worried about poverty. Is this going to support me? Maybe you're trying to make whatever this Princess of Disc energy, you're trying to make this into your main fortune, your main money maker. And that's totally cool too. But, this worry about, well, what if? Well, I challenge you. What if everything goes great? What if you get that fortune that you want? What if you're super happy and you're feeling fulfilled? What if you're balanced, Libra? What if you're getting so much wisdom from this transformative phase that your cups are filled to the brim and you're sitting on your throne of clouds, Libra? What then? Yeah, I challenge you. Yeah, look at that. I don't know if that was necessarily 9 things, but I'm coming at your 9 of swords here, Libra. And look at that. That's a pretty solid safety net, Libra. Oh, I love that. Look at that. You'd have thought, it's almost like I planned that. But getting over my own ego, let's not stay here, Libra. Let's take this. Let's be aware of this, and be in the place, and address this stuff. This is not to say like we're not gonna deal with it, because eventually that's how that shit festers, and then we go from having a friendly devil moment, and then becomes a hangman, graduates to a tower, and then it's we're just a whole shit mess, and that's not what we want. So I challenge you. My point for that was, I challenge you, for every negative thing that you're thinking here, you say a positive sword to match that, because that's how it starts. What I just did there, what if, all those what ifs, well, what if I do succeed? What if this is perfect? It may not be what I envisioned, but then everyone else is just like, wow, Libra, this is incredible. And you're like, yeah? No, don't put a question mark on that. Yeah, it is. Just like how I didn't plan this Queen of Swords to land on her safety net like I did, but look at what I tried to keep it good, and look what happened. Something perfect happened. She landed right on her spot, and she's going to get right back on her throne like nothing ever happened. So I want you to do the same, Libra. Nothing ever happened. Well, no, let's not say that. This did happen, but we learned from it. We learned from these situations. Because one more thing on this, and then I'm going to move to your higher self. with this stuff, at least more so with this 5 of disc energy, you know, when you think about like worries, anxiety, poverty, things of those nature, those are usually future mentalities. And here's my thing. When it comes to the future, oh, and even with this, what if this thing fails, blah, 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 all future stuff. If you are in this present moment right now, that's the beauty of it. You can change the future how you want because the future reflects the present. And if you keep compounding this stuff, you know, these good thoughts and good thoughts and good thoughts and good thoughts, what's your future going to look? Awesome. Just 9 of Cups. I lost your other cup. 10 of Cups. Fortune. Because that's what we want, Libra. That's exactly what we want. Even if that's not what you think you want right now, that's what I want for you. I want fortune and whatever that looks like for you. I want you to get I want you to get your abundance, your fulfillment, all of that. So, oh, and with this, one more thing. Prince of Cups. I just want to say with him, while you're dealing with this 9 of Swords and 5 of disc energy, don't suffer in silence, because that's what the prince tries to shoulder all of this stuff. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, the princes and the queens can represent people, which this is obviously you, this Queen of Swords here, because that's one of your cards. But the princes represent air. The cups are the watery, represent water. So he's the airy part of water. So some of you might have some water in your chart. Take it as it resonates. But, you know, don't suffer in silence. And you know, how like a water sign to suffer in silence. I'm a water sign, so I can say that. It's one of those, you know, you don't want to, you feel like, oh, I don't want to be a burden. You know, I don't want to unload this, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, what is that? How do you, you know, okay, if you're trying to shoulder this by yourself, over time that's going to, this steam is going to cover him up, and then he won't know what to do. He'll be so inundated in it that it's just going to be that much harder. It's going to make this transformation that much more uncomfortable. So, you know, any way that we can alleviate this so that when you're coming out of this cocoon, you know, you're coming out of it proud, on your thrones, no bullshit. That's what I want for you, Libra. Okay, your higher self is yelling at me because, like, your higher self is yelling at me. So let me go ahead and get these cards, because now this has become a mess. So, with cards that your higher self, or the message that your higher self wants you to know, have the Hermit here, the Emperor, and the Prince of Swords. Now, with this Hermit, now I know I was just saying don't suffer in silence, but that is also to say too, when you need to take some time and kind of meditate on this stuff. You know, I feel like before you kind of go out maybe and maybe reaching out for something, you know, maybe take a little time. Maybe you need to pull yourself away from the crowd for a little bit and kind of deal with this. Figure out what that is, because sometimes it's hard to talk about these things when we haven't given them the space that they deserve. So I feel like with the Hermit popping up here, yeah, this is you really just saying meditate on this stuff. What is this? You know, what is causing this? Because you got some sun here. You got this sun waiting to be unlocked. You have all this wisdom that the world wants to experience. Look at that. Cerberus so happy. He's ready for it now. But you know, it is one of those things you have to give it that space. And then once you do, you embody that Emperor energy. You go out and you conquer. Because the Emperor is just that. You know, he's a boss. You know, he's leveling up, and he's still, just because he's gotten boss level, the Emperor doesn't stop leveling up just because he's reached boss level. You can always be, even the Emperor can be better every moment of every day. You know, we are constantly looking to get better. You know, I've really stopped thinking about it. You know, I used to be, my phrase was like, get my shit together one day at a time. No, I'm getting my shit together moment by moment. And it really does, when you can put those, when you see those increments like that, it helps you appreciate those small victories. You know, because I do, you know, even doing these readings, there are sometimes I'll say something to these signs and it's like, oh shit, Justin, you know, practice what you preach. Or like, oh, that was as much for me as it was for you. And, you know, I really like that. So I feel like with him here, with your higher self is saying, you know, you're going to get to this boss level. And then when you get there, take this wisdom, you know, this 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 is like divine introspection here, but take this wisdom that you learn from this moment, to apply this Emperor, so that we don't stay in this like Prince of Swords energy, because the Prince of Swords, very intelligent figure, all about what he does. The only thing with him is that he's all that intelligent whatnot, doesn't have any direction, and it makes it, because you got him here, it looks like this domineering figure is trying to guide all of these things. He's just like, I don't know where to go, just go. And they're doing just that. This one's like, I think I'm going to go to lunch. I think I'm going to go buy some clothes. And you know what? I'm going home, because what the fuck are we doing? And, the Prince of Swords, his problem is that his energy it has no direction. I think you get so lost up in trying to being perfect, that you lose your, just like this mess here, you just lose where you're, I don't know, see, we can't even see it, but you lose what the whole purpose of us being here, that Princess of Disc energy, to channel that thing that we love, that's fulfilling us, so that we can grow and spread that to the world. So I feel like we can go ahead and move back, but yeah, with this energy here, I really do feel like this is what your higher self, it doesn't, maybe some of you have just been feeling like you don't know where you want to, nothing is ever quite perfect enough. Well, spoiler alert, nothing's ever going to quite be as perfect as you want it to be. I would, coming into these videos, I really want to say, like, I'm going to say all the right things, and people are going to love it, and I'm just going to help this world grow, and they're going to help me grow, and all these things, but sometimes it's messy, It's never perfect. But look at the good that's come out of it. We've learned so much from this. Even in this little bit, Libra, we're leveling up moment by moment, but it really is being kinder to ourselves, showing a little more compassion, being a lot more present, and then getting to, because you got 18 cups here and a good fortune. I call, if that ain't a good time, Libra, I don't know what is. So yeah, I'll go ahead and leave that there. I want that to resonate. Like I said, I want it to resonate with all of you, but I definitely hope that it resonated with at least some of you. So, like, share, subscribe, do all those YouTube-y things, and to really kind of get a better picture of yourself, to kind of help you, get a little more clarity, because we're all about clarity, Libra. Check your moon, check your rising. How I call, some of you might actually have some Virgo in your chart, so check that shit out. I might not have made that up. I might have know you better than you think you know, Libra. But yeah, check all of those things, because it really does help provide a bigger picture to you. And then once you understand yourself, once we've taken the time to understand ourselves a little bit better, we can get out and conquer and prosper and all that good stuff. I love it. You want to know what I also love? Celestial News Weekly. Ooh, that was a little weird, Libra. It's fine. Nothing's ever perfect. But that doesn't change the goodness that is this news, because there's some great stuff going on this week. This is jam-packed. So let's go ahead and jump into this, okay? Now, on the 23rd, today, got 4 things. Saturn is going direct today. Oh, I need you to move, because I'm definitely I need all of you to spread. I've really made a mess over here. But with Saturn going direct, this might, bring up the times, where you're feeling that pressure. You might be feeling that anxiety, those fears, what ifs, but with Saturn going direct, this is not to do that to bully you, or to deter you from your path. This is so that we can get that so that we can get that mastery, so that we can really come into ourselves and be the best version of ourselves. That's all Saturn really wants. I feel like Saturn can come across as kind of a dick, but he really does have your best interests at heart. Now, next couple things. Scorpio is having a big old transformative party, and it's invited Venus and the Sun. We got a straggler, and I'll get to that one in a second. But with Venus entering Scorpio, this is a time for kind of like meaningful and deep relationships, really kind of diving in. We're done, well, at least for this time being, we're not dealing with superficial stuff right now. Anything that's like, shallow stuff, we're not doing, no. We want some depth, Libra. We want to, if we're going to get some like fulfillment and stuff, we need to have those kind of like, checking our circle, and making sure that all of our relationships are on point, and keeping that in and, strengthening those bonds. And then with the sun entering it just left Libra. With the sun entering Scorpio, this is like a time of like digging up stuff under the surface, finding truths for that transformative. So, you're just gonna hang out here for a second. Finding that truth for what was I saying? For transformation. Really dealing with that. Anything that we've kind of had buried deep down, whatever these 9 of Swords that we've been telling ourselves, this 5 of Discs, really bringing that to light and, helping that to transform that into more energy that's going to serve us a purpose. So, yeah, I like that. On the 25th of October, there's going to be a partial new moon solar eclipse, which that's exciting. Solar eclipses, just in general, they kind of bring about unexpected news or new beginnings. But it really is a time. This whole event, if you will, is about channeling all of that. I don't know why I put you down. Channeling all of that transformative traits, or the good traits of Scorpio, that passion, that resourcefulness, that depth, that perceptivity, that's, and then how to incorporate that in our everyday lives. How are we sitting on our thrones high? We're transforming all the time and looking like bosses while we do it, Libra. So, and also, funny thing, while this whole thing is happening, the new moon's going to be, while it's eclipsing the sun, is going to be conjunct with Venus. So I told you, big old party. Everyone's hooking up. But with this happening, that's funny. It brings up matters of love, relationship, and self-worth. And I really want to emphasize on that self-worth, because I need like what, 4 more arms to hold all of these cards, because you're worth it. You're totally worth it, Libra. You deserve that fulfillment. No, that's not the one I want. You. And you. You're totally worth it, Libra. These what ifs. What if I'm not? Oh, this what if I'm not good enough? What if? Nope. What if I'm an emperor? Oh. What if I'm an emperor right side up? Look how badass you were upside down. Now imagine how you are right side up. Yeah, okay. Again, another example. Not perfect, but look what goodness came from it. Last thing. Oh, sorry. 2 more things. On the 28th, Jupiter, which is still retrograde, I think until November, is going to be moving into Pisces. And during that time, it's a time for expanding our spirituality and our compassion. I want you to be compassionate, Libra. I want you to remember, for every negative thing we're thinking, we're saying 1 positive thing. Preferably, I really would like you to say 2 positive things. But for sure, at least match it. Match your energy. We're just getting started. Match your energy. And then, as it gets easier, it's 9 of Cups. Lastly, that straggler that showed up to the party. It heard how much fun everyone was having. Mercury's going to show up to the mix, and it's going to be entering Scorpio on the 29th. And this is a time to kind of talk about difficult issues regarding whether it be relationships, money, mortality, even, anything kind of taboo, because, Scorpio likes to dig up that, wants to get the dirt and really get down to some stuff. This is that time to kind of discuss those things, and to establish that safe space to address, to talk about this. Because like I was saying with that Prince of, there you are, with that Prince of Cups, don't suffer in silence, meditate, be with it, give it, find these faces, give them that space. but don't let it be where you're just like wallowing in it and where you feel like you just, oh, I can handle it. I'm going to put up on I got this, which I don't doubt that you don't have this. You're an emperor. You're the Queen of Swords. But even the queen, the emperor, everyone at some point, it's going to be too much. Like it's, if you give and you give and you give, or you just bottle up and bottle up and bottle up and bottle up, it's gonna sneak out in ways where the devil go. It's gonna sneak out in ways where you're not ready for it. And again, if we can, these cards are I like to say they're always welcome, but if we can have less of them, maybe control the amount of devil moments we're having, towers, this stuff, maybe just voluntarily meditating, let's do that. I feel like that's fair. So, all right, Libra, thank you for sticking through with me. Let's get your surprise card, and then I will get you on your way to tackling this stuff. Nice. Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is my gratitude card. Be grateful for all of this. Even this shitty stuff right here. And I don't want it. You're not that shitty. You made me wiser. Even these kind of tough things, I feel like with the Four of Cups, normally this is about, appreciating the good stuff that we already have, and not letting that becoming tainted, letting that become everyday. But in this instance here, I feel like this is showing, be grateful for the wisdom that you're getting from all of this. Don't treat these moments as just like one of those things, because this doesn't necessarily have to just deal with stuff. Like I was saying, the cups have to deal with emotional matters. So if you're just treating these, you're like going through, it's like, okay, Justin, yeah, I guess I'm handsome, and then like, oh, I'm a good this, but you're not, you're just kind of half-assing it. That's what happens with this Four of Cups, because you see here, things still kind of look sort of pretty, but you got these gray skies. And I told you, Queen of Wands doesn't like to fall in her ass out of the sky, and even these waters are choppy. So it's just like, what's going on here? Let's be grateful for the wisdom that comes from this. This is a beautiful time. This season is a really good, very transformative period. So let's take that for what it is, enjoy that, and, I feel like it's, just be grateful. Let's be grateful, Libra. I'm right there. I'm grateful for this message, because, I wouldn't have got this message if I hadn't have done this, so I know I'm personally grateful, and I hope you are as well, okay? That's all I have for you. Please, be kind to yourself this week, show yourself some compassion, and let's keep raising that vibration, and I'll catch you on the next one later. Later!